Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with the Timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Justice and Five of Wands. This is looking like something is working itself out here. Okay, so justice coming up can show that there is an energy that's coming to light where if stuff had been going on that was not within the realm of balance, like even from a cosmic standpoint, something was going on and it was out of balance. Justice is feeling like now at this point, this is either like it's going to come up and it's going to be recognized. It feels like the influence of this energy is now involved. So you could have been involved in something and not seen really an appearance of this energy yet. Justice is going to be a balancing of the scales. So if you felt like something was not fair or it wasn't right or it wasn't balanced or there was something happening that you were like, this is just wrong, what's going on here? Five of Wands is feeling like there's like the right way of things going on or like the just way of things happening. Five of Wands is going to be like anything that's conflicting with that. The Sun is going to be this stuff coming to light. So anything that is out of balance, anything that is unaligned is going to be coming to light here. There can be deeper implications of this depending on what's going on. It can be something small where you're like, okay, this doesn't align with my values and so I need to correct this. This can be something bigger, like government can be involved, law can be involved. I'm trying to think, anything else? Anything where like a system is involved, like a system of justice, whether this be individually or this be on a more grand scale. So if you've been waiting for this to be addressed, whatever has been conflicting with the agenda of justice, having Five of Wands is like the stuff that would be not allowing that to happen. Having the Sun come out next to it is like it can't be hidden anymore. Like all of this stuff is going to be recognized. These things are going to come to light. So if anything had been hindering justice, those things will now be brought to light, like sort of put on stand like that. So whatever had been getting in the way of things being how they're supposed to be. This feels like the first step of something where there's a recognition of these things that had not been allowing stuff to work as it's supposed to be. Like things that would be getting in the way of harmony. This can also be your own stuff too, like on a more micro, like yes, this can be happening on a macro level. On a micro level, there can be something within you that's coming up now where like that just isn't right, whether it be something that you're involved in or it be like your own actions. Five of Wands is going to be like what has to change, but more than anything, this feels like a recognition of what had been not allowing things to play out smoothly or what had not been allowing things to play out aligned with the harmonics. Five of Swords, this looks like something that had already occurred but now may be coming to light. So like now it's being addressed. So you could have felt like this all along, but now at this point these things are being addressed. Seeing Five of Swords and seeing Ten of Pentacles here. This can be stuff that's been being done where people have only been looking out for themselves. Like this is feeling kind of like a little bit of an unfair energy, like a greedy thing here, the way that I'm seeing this. Because Five of Swords can be a self-serving type of energy, where one has sort of just been like thinking about themselves and their needs, But Ten of Pentacles can sort of be an overflow of things. So this can be like people or someone doing things in a way where, so many different ways that this can manifest. But an example of this and like how the energy works can be, in order for somebody to keep what they have or build what they have or not share what they have when it would be supposed to be shared, you know, like that type of thing. There's nothing wrong with like having stuff. It's more so you start losing the harmony when what's supposed to be going to people is not being dispersed correctly. Five of Swords and Ten of Pentacles can be, I'm doing things for myself and creating that separation between me and others, myself and others, so I can have all of this stuff. And it's just too bad if that's not fair for other people. It can be like that type of thing. So Five of Swords is motivated by the self, but only from a framework of separation. So this isn't just like I'm minding my business and doing my thing here. This is like I'm potentially putting other people at a disadvantage by only thinking about myself here. And Ten of Pentacles is like, so I can stay comfortable, or so I can keep what I have. So it can be potentially like selfish moves that we make, if you want to frame it like that. It's just, Five of Swords is connected with doing things in a way that's more, I'm just thinking about me here rather than everybody else, because I'm only concerned with myself. And if that doesn't work for other people, or if that does something wrong for other people, that's not my problem. It's like that type of thing. So one can even feel from Five of Swords disconnected from the heart space, because Five of Swords isn't just like I'm taking care of myself and minding my business. Five of Swords is like I'm not sitting in the deeper part of my heart space when I'm making these choices, and it's just like how to get ahead, like that type of thing. And to, again, like keep what I have, or to stay comfortable, or to not have anything, you know, to like not meet sort of the consequences of what's going on. It could be like that type of thing that happens here. People have reasons for doing this, but it can be, it's something that's now getting in the way of things working the way that they're supposed to, of things working functionally and properly. And that's why Justice is coming out here. So Justice is coming through to rebalance things. So what first has to come to light is what would not be aligned with balance. So those things have to sort of be called out and recognized first. And then we sort of see why that's been happening, how that's been happening. So it's like the thing that's happening that's not allowing stuff to work the way that it's supposed to, and then where that's coming from, you know, like the catalyst for that. Seems very much like help is on the way. I do get this being like a more grand cosmic thing that's happening, but it can be seen both on a micro and macro level. Things are definitely going to be done now. This feels like the righteous fight, something like that. It's what's coming to mind. Like things are actually going to, you're going to see things physically manifest that are aligned with this. Looking at the Pentacles coming out. There can also be people that are working on behalf of this energy. It's mainly an energy that we're talking about. It's a vibration that's connected with Justice, but it feels like it's going to be channeled by steps that are going to be taken, that you'll see taken, and also people that are involved in this as well. People that are like working on behalf of this vibration of Justice. This looks like a very long, drawn-out process, having Nine of Wands here. But I get the feeling, having the Sun above Nine of Wands feels like getting a gust or a burst of energy to keep going through a process. Nine of Wands shows this being a process, but Nine of Wands also indicates being very close to this cycle being completed as well. So it can be like, this has been a long time coming, and I have been fighting like tirelessly, or like working on behalf of justice tirelessly. And it feels like now there's going to be like a helpful element that is coming to light to sort of share the load of this, the load of the work that's being done here. Some of you could have even felt like you were like in an energy where the energy was kind of matched and nothing was like pushing one side or the other, and this thing is coming through and it's going to work on behalf of things being put in their right order, and so it will help like that side of things, like to restore the balance. Okay, so for some of you, this is a situation that had already occurred, but now you're seeing like the greater consequences of it, and also potential reparations for this as well. Some of you, there can be a payout from this, because I'm seeing Ten of Pentacles come after. It's like it gets released, so that can happen. That doesn't have to be the only way that it can manifest, but for some of you, you will be seeing money, I'm seeing. Definitely not the only way, but you'll know for you, like if you're involved in something, you're gonna know, right? If you're involved in something where there's like a financial element to it, you can be seeing that come to fruition. But for those of you that it's like something else would be involved in it, like you can see those things then materializing. Like whatever would allow this to complete, but I'm seeing there's going to be a completion that happens, and I get this energy again, like a payout from the Ten of Pentacles, of like before this stuff had to happen, and you could have, it also feels like you've been part of like a bigger or greater change that's been occurring, because Five of Swords is feeling sort of like what had to come to light and what had to happen in order for like a whole thing to be called out, like a whole system to be fixed and to be reworked, and like something really big happening, or big things happening sort of like consecutively that were involved in this, that led to the whole closing out of a really big cycle that had been occurring. And then the energy that I'm seeing after the Ten of Swords, which is like all of that stuff happening, that can be all of those difficult things happening, or like that's not right how that's going, like those types of things. Having then us come out in Ten of Pentacles shows things like stabilizing and then coming back to the way that they're supposed to be, and gonna stay like that for a long time, because Ten of Pentacles is also an energy of longevity. That's also what it represents too. So it can show like all this fighting was worth it because it allowed things to evolve, and then there's going to be the basically like the repayment that happens because of going through all of this. So if you've been involved in a process like this, you are going to see the Ten of Pentacles come out of it. Because it can be like, Ten of Swords can be a severe thing that you go through, but then Ten of Pentacles will be like the equal and opposite force of that in compensation for this. And compensation, because that's what will balance the scales essentially, as much as they can be. But it will by far be a fair judgment. Some of you could be going through a divorce or something like that. Or this is going to benefit you and your family, or people that you're close with. And there can also be, you may not be the only person that went through this process. There can be other people that were involved in this process that are also going to see this outcome as well, I'm seeing. I am seeing stuff come back together. like the difference between Five of Swords, which is sort of that like more lone wolf energy of I'm just taking care of myself, like forget everybody else, and if this like it is again putting them at a disadvantage in some way. But then when we end with the Lovers over here, it shows there being that reconnection that happens where there's like a uniting. So instead of everybody being separate, it's like everybody coming back together. And they're being like Five of Swords is not being dropped into the heart space. The Lovers is then being dropped into the heart space where it's like there can be a sense of community. There can be like a sense of, there's just like love in the air as far as from like being to being, like that type of thing. Where before that had definitely not been the case, but it feels like there was a lot of little stuff that happened, and then the big ending of the cycle had to happen, and then the reparations happen after that, and it will stay like that for quite some time. Ending with Five of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck feels like there can be some hopelessness that you've been feeling throughout this process of like, is justice really going to be served? Is that really going to happen? But this feels like an encouragement for you to be like, stuff is soon going to be coming to light if it has not already. So you are soon going to be seeing this if you have not yet seen this. What's going to come to light is that this thing is, what you're going to see is that this process that may have been a long process, a drawn out process, a challenging process, it's about to come to an end, and you're about to see that, and you will see basically the outcome of it, essentially. So this cycle that's been like on and on and on and going and going and going, and like, when is this going to be over? When is this going to be made right? When is this going to end? You're going to see that. So that's what's happening. Definitely has not been easy moving through this. There have been a lot of things that have been getting in the way of this happening. Like, it could have felt like an endless battle for much of the time, or just like waiting. But now there's like a type of force that basically is, again, like working on the side of things being brought back into balance. So that's what's going to be happening. That's what I'm seeing. Why do we have the Five? I just want to see why the Five of Pentacles is on the bottom of the deck here, because this looks like I'm seeing so much hope within this. You could have just felt like there wasn't going to be a fair outcome to this process, but you will see that there will be. You'll be very, very happy with this. I'm seeing 10 of Pentacles is like, you get more than just Six of Pentacles. If it was Six of Pentacles that came out, it would be like you'll just break even with this, like you went through it and then you're gonna break even. 10 of Pentacles can be like more than you expected to come of this. It will be, 10 of Pentacles will be the most ideal outcome that you would get from this, like the most ideal outcome that should come of this, like granted the influences that are working through it. But it can be, yeah, more than you expected. And it can be something that's felt down, like even generational lines for some of you. Or impact you in like multiple areas or multiple places. I wonder if Five of Pentacles is just you going through something in sort of the like mentality or like the effect of being in a process where it's like this has got to change, or like will it ever change, and that question of being in sort of a situation where there's been like a disadvantage in going through it. And like, am I going to see compensation for this? Or like, is this going to be made right? That's what I'm getting as far as context for the Five of Pentacles. Like, you can be on the lookout out like, hey, like I'm not doing great after going through this. Like I'm sort of dealing with, Five of Pentacles is feeling like dealing with what happened because of having to go through this, like how this has impacted you. But again, like seeing 10 of Pentacles, like this is definitely going to turn in your favor. You'll see if you're aligned on the side of if you were on the side that had been disadvantaged, you will see that there will be compensation now for that. Like, things are going to change and they will be like greatly beneficial. That's what's going to be happening. So yes, you're going to be really, really happy. This is good news. This is really good news. And you're not going to have to stay in the spot that you've been in anymore. Yeah. Some of you, this is going to change your life. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.